At age 60, your cup of coffee may be accelerating your body's aging, and you may not even know it. Sounds like an exaggeration? It's not. For millions of people, coffee is a sacred morning ritual. The strong aroma, the warmth of the cup in your hands, the energy it awakens, it's all part of life. But science has revealed a hidden side to this story. Not all coffee is the same, and some types can be real vitality thieves. After 60, the body no longer responds in the same way. The heart requires more care, digestion becomes more delicate, sleep becomes lighter, and even the brain needs extra protection against natural wear and tear. And in this scenario, the wrong coffee can be a silent trigger for inflammation, constant fatigue, and even memory problems. The same drink that should bring energy may actually be draining the body's strength. Many people believe that avoiding sugar is enough to make coffee healthy. But that's just one detail. The reality is that there are 3 common types of coffee easily found in markets and coffee shops that hide substances or processes capable of sabotaging your health without you noticing. Each sip may be gradually undermining your natural defenses. But here's the surprising part: there are also coffees that do exactly the opposite. They boost circulation, protect the brain, and even help with cell regeneration. Choosing correctly means turning a simple habit into a powerful ally for longevity. It is this difference that we are going to uncover: the 3 coffees that should never be part of your routine, and the 3 that can become true natural remedies. Get ready, because this revelation may change the way you look at your next cup. And since this knowledge can protect thousands of people who still drink coffee without realizing the risks, take this opportunity to leave your like. This way, you help this message reach more people who, like you, love coffee but deserve to find out which choices really prolong life. Coffee can be both a powerful ally and a dangerous enemy. It all depends on how it gets into your cup. For centuries, this drink has been praised for its ability to wake people up, warm them up, and even bring them together around a table. However, behind this pleasure, there are profound differences that most people ignore. The same bean that, in its purest form, concentrates antioxidants capable of protecting blood vessels, can also be transformed into a version that inflames the body and overloads the liver. And this is not a distant theory, it is proven science. Research shows that the polyphenol present in quality coffees can reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease and improve brain health. But when subjected to industrial processes or combined with artificial additives, coffee loses these benefits and begins to act in the opposite direction. After the age of 60, this difference is even more decisive. The body already works with fewer reserves, and every wrong choice can cost energy, disposition, and even years of healthy life. Think of it as a balance: on one side, coffee that strengthens your natural defenses; on the other, coffee that slowly erodes your vitality. The most striking thing is that this choice is often made unconsciously. You may believe you are drinking a harmless beverage when, in fact, you are ingesting chemical compounds produced in excess during roasting or manufacturing. Substances that, instead of nourishing, cause inflammation. And when inflammation sets in, it opens the door to joint pain, chronic fatigue, memory difficulties, and even more serious diseases. The point is clear: it is not enough to love coffee, you need to know what coffee you are putting into your body. Because while some types act as clean fuel, others act as poison disguised as energy. And among the coffees that most seduce consumers, there is one that is often seen as strong and full-bodied, but which hides a detail capable of transforming each sip into a silent attack on the stomach and cells. This is the first on the list of pitfalls that we are going to reveal now. At first glance, it seems irresistible. The smell is intense, the flavor striking, the color deep, almost black. Many believe that the darker the coffee, the stronger and better it will be. But the truth is quite different. Ultra-roasted coffee, which undergoes an excessive roasting process, can be one of the biggest enemies of your health after the age of 60. When the bean is exposed to very high temperatures for a long time, it loses most of the natural antioxidants that should protect your cells. Precious substances such as chlorogenic acid, known to reduce inflammation and balance blood sugar, practically disappear in this process. What remains, besides the dark color and bitter taste, are chemical compounds that irritate the stomach, increase the risk of reflux, and make digestion more difficult. And here's the worrying detail: people over 60 already naturally have lower stomach acid production and slower digestion. This means that ultra-roasted coffee acts like gasoline on a fire that is already burning. Heartburn, abdominal discomfort, and a burning sensation become common symptoms often attributed to age, when in fact they are the result of the wrong choice of coffee. Another hidden factor is the increase in substances known as carbonization products. In excess, these compounds can cause oxidative stress, one of the main mechanisms of cellular aging. It's as if each sip of ultra-roasted coffee is accelerating the body's natural wear and tear. This is not just a matter of temporary discomfort. In the long term, continuous exposure to these compounds can promote the onset of inflammatory diseases and even weaken the body's ability to regenerate. This explains why some people report feeling more tired or experiencing joint pain when they frequently consume very dark coffees. Of course, many brands exploit this type of roast because it standardizes the flavor and masks low-quality beans. That's why it's so common to find it in popular supermarket packages or served in large chain coffee shops. But precisely what seems strong and full-bodied may be draining the energy and vitality of those who most need balance. What may be even more surprising is that, among all the pitfalls of coffee, this is not the most harmful. There is an even more common form, consumed daily by millions of people, which concentrates unwanted substances and poses a silent risk to the liver and metabolism. It seems practical, quick, and modern. Just open the sachet, mix it with hot water, and in seconds, the coffee is ready. It is precisely this convenience that has made instant coffee a common habit in many homes. But behind the practicality, this type of coffee hides chemical pitfalls that become especially dangerous after the age of 60. To transform the bean into soluble powder, the industry subjects the coffee to extreme heating and dehydration processes. During this process, substances such as acrylamide are formed, a compound that in excess can damage cells and increase the risk of chronic diseases. Although small amounts are tolerated, frequent consumption of instant coffee creates continuous and unnecessary exposure to the body. In addition, analyses have already identified that instant coffee can concentrate metal residues and impurities that are not present at the same level in filtered or handcrafted coffees.
This is because the raw material used is not always of high quality. Often, they are second or third-rate beans, used only so as not to be wasted. For those over 60, this detail makes a difference. The liver, responsible for filtering toxins, already works at a slower pace. When constantly receiving extra chemical compounds, it becomes overloaded. This overload can translate into unexplained fatigue, greater difficulty in controlling cholesterol and blood sugar levels, and promote silent inflammatory processes that gradually erode vitality. Another crucial point: even without sugar, instant coffee can alter the body's balance. This is because its composition, the result of industrial processes, interferes with insulin sensitivity and energy metabolism. In other words, instead of providing stable energy, it can generate peaks of agitation followed by a sharp drop, something that many people confuse with weakness of age. It is true that some brands try to reinforce the image of this product by adding fortification with vitamins or minerals. But the base remains a coffee that is poor in protective compounds and rich in substances that the body does not need. Ultimately, it is like dressing up a food that has already lost the best it had to offer. And if you think this is the worst version of coffee for your health, know that there is still a very popular combination that goes beyond roasting and instant powder. A seemingly innocent mixture, but one that turns into a real metabolic bomb when it reaches the body, and it is probably among the most common orders in coffee shops. For many people, coffee isn't complete without a generous spoonful of sugar or thick cream that makes the drink sweeter and creamier. It's the custom of turning coffee into a liquid dessert. But here's the big catch: after age 60, this combination can become one of the biggest saboteurs of health, even if the person believes they are just sweetening the moment. Refined sugar is one of the main enemies of healthy aging. It causes spikes in blood glucose, which overload the pancreas, increase the risk of type 2 diabetes, and accelerate inflammatory processes. Each time this happens, blood vessels suffer microaggressions that, added up over time, can result in high blood pressure, poor circulation, and increased cardiovascular risk. The problem is exacerbated because, at this age, the body no longer controls blood sugar as well as it used to. And it doesn't stop there. Many coffee shop coffees come with artificial syrups, industrialized whipped cream, and creams that mimic milk but actually contain a mixture of hydrogenated vegetable oils, chemical sweeteners, and preservatives. These substances act like an inflammatory cocktail. Instead of providing clean energy, they block the action of regulatory hormones, increase abdominal fat accumulation, and weaken immunity. Imagine this happening every day. A seemingly harmless cup can have calories equivalent to a generous slice of cake. What should be just a light breakfast turns into a trigger for weight gain, constant fatigue, and a greater propensity for chronic diseases. A simple example: Think about how many times you've seen elderly people leaving famous coffee shops holding huge cups, believing they are just drinking coffee. What's inside is often a real dessert in disguise. Dessert disguised as coffee. And the more frequently it is consumed, the harder it becomes for the body to fight the effects of this mixture. This is undoubtedly one of the most insidious habits. It combines three harmful factors: excess sugar, excess processed fat, and total loss of coffee's natural antioxidants. It's the perfect formula for draining energy, weakening metabolism, and accelerating aging. But this is where an important twist comes in. Because the problem isn't coffee itself, it's how it's prepared and combined. The good news is that there are simple choices that turn coffee into an ally of vitality. Well-selected beans, proper preparation, and even some natural supplements can turn a simple cup into a powerful weapon against aging. And it is precisely now that we are going to talk about the coffees that can really protect the body, strengthen the mind, and prolong healthy life. After learning about the villains that drain your energy and sabotage your vitality, it's natural to wonder, does coffee really need to be eliminated from your life? The answer is clear: no. Coffee, when chosen and prepared correctly, can be a true natural remedy for those over 60. Recent research shows that compounds found in quality coffee, such as polyphenol and chlorogenic acids, act directly on fundamental mechanisms in the body. They help fight free radicals, reduce silent inflammation, and even protect DNA from damage that accelerates aging. It's as if each cup is a daily dose of cellular protection. And here's a fascinating point: coffee can stimulate several of the body's natural defenses. It improves blood circulation by supporting angiogenesis, promotes cell regeneration with antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress, protects the gut microbiome by providing compounds that feed beneficial bacteria, strengthens immunity, and even helps preserve brain function over time. What once seemed like just a stimulating drink is now seen as a tool for longevity. A well-chosen coffee can reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, keep the brain sharper, and even support mobility, preventing joint pain and inflammation. But be careful, not just any bean or preparation will do. It is necessary to understand which coffees preserve these properties and how to integrate them into your daily life without overdoing it. The secret lies in selecting versions that keep their active compounds intact, without the harmful residues created by industrialization or excessive roasting. Imagine the scene: you wake up, prepare a cup of clean, smooth coffee with a delicate aroma, and know that there, in addition to the pleasure, there is a silent reinforcement working in favor of your heart, your brain, and even your skin. This ritual, when well chosen, ceases to be just a habit. It becomes an act of daily self-care. And among the types of coffee available, there are three that stand out for their ability to protect the body after age 60. The first is grown in a special way, preserves precious nutrients, and can even reduce that common discomfort of heartburn that so many feel with heavier coffees. Amongst so many options on the shelves, a simple choice can make all the difference: lightly or medium roasted organic coffee. It is not just a trend or a luxury of specialty coffee shops. It is an option that can really change the way your body reacts to coffee after the age of 60. Organic farming does not use pesticides, chemical fertilizers, or synthetic additives. This means that the beans reach your cup pure, without residues that overload the liver and kidneys. For those over 60, this purity is essential because detoxification organs work at a slower pace and are more vulnerable to the accumulation of toxins. Every sip of organic coffee is a sip free of these invisible traps. But the benefits don't stop there. Light or medium roasting preserves bioactive compounds that are lost in very dark roasts. Among them is chlorogenic acid, which reduces inflammation, helps balance blood sugar, and protects blood vessels.
Instead of causing heartburn and acid reflux, as is the case with ultra-roasted coffees, lightly roasted organic coffee tends to be gentler on the stomach and easier to digest. People who make this switch often report something surprising: less discomfort, more stable energy, and even improved mood. This is because the body no longer has to deal with unnecessary irritants and instead receives compounds that strengthen its natural defenses. It's like turning your cup of coffee into a little daily boost to maintain your vitality. Another essential point: organic coffee usually has a cleaner and more aromatic flavor, without that exaggerated bitterness that hides defects in poorly processed beans. This means that, in addition to being healthier, it also provides a more pleasant sensory experience. Pleasure and health, together, in one habit. Of course, this choice often requires attention. Look for organic certification labels, observe the roast, and even try different brands until you find the one that best suits your taste. But the effort is worth it, because each cup is no longer just a routine but a tool for longevity. And if lightly roasted organic coffee already shows so much potential, the next ally may surprise you even more. It seems simple, but it hides a detail that makes all the difference. It allows you to enjoy the benefits of coffee without overloading your heart, sleep, or blood pressure. Many people over the age of 60 face a dilemma. They love coffee, but can no longer handle the effects of caffeine. Their heart races, their sleep becomes too light, and their blood pressure seems to fluctuate. This is where an underappreciated but extremely powerful ally comes in: natural decaffeinated coffee, obtained through processes that preserve its nutrients without adding extra chemicals. The first important thing to understand is that not all decaffeinated coffee is the same. Many inexpensive products use chemical solvents in the caffeine removal process, leaving residues that add nothing positive to the body. But there is a clean method, called the Swiss water process, which removes caffeine naturally, without adding toxic substances, keeping the antioxidants and bioactive compounds in the bean intact. This detail makes all the difference. Natural decaffeinated coffee allows you to enjoy polyphenol and chlorogenic acids that protect the heart, reduce inflammation, and help balance blood sugar, but without the exaggerated stimulating effect that often causes anxiety, insomnia, or palpitations. For those over 60, this means enjoying the coffee ritual without compromising the quality of rest or overloading the cardiovascular system. Another essential point is bone health. Excessive caffeine consumption can increase calcium loss and weaken bones, precisely at a stage of life when osteoporosis becomes more common. By choosing a quality decaffeinated version, you reduce this impact while maintaining the flavor and pleasure of the drink. Imagine preparing your cup in the late afternoon or even at night without fear of disrupting your sleep. Or enjoying a coffee after dinner with friends without carrying the effects of agitation with you. It's more than a habit, it's a return to the freedom to enjoy without negative consequences. And here's an invitation: have you ever tried a natural decaffeinated coffee, prepared using this clean method? Tell us about your experience in the comments. Your story may inspire others who believe they need to give up coffee, when in fact there is a safer and healthier alternative. And if natural decaf already shows how coffee can adapt to the body after 60, the next ally goes even further. It not only preserves the pleasure of the drink, but also adds ingredients that enhance its protective effects. A simple but powerful combination that transforms each sip into an extra boost for the brain, circulation, and even mood. Sometimes, you don't need to change the entire drink, just one detail is enough to transform an ordinary cup into a true health elixir. This is exactly what happens when we add cinnamon or pure cocoa to coffee. Two simple, accessible ingredients with powerful effects for those over 60. Cinnamon, used for centuries as a spice and natural remedy, has a proven effect on glucose metabolism. Small amounts help reduce blood sugar spikes and improve insulin sensitivity. For people at risk of type 2 diabetes or already living with high blood sugar, a pinch of cinnamon in coffee can be a simple strategy to support the body's balance. Pure cocoa, without added sugar or powdered milk, is one of the richest sources of flavonoids, compounds that increase blood circulation, protect the heart, and stimulate the release of substances linked to well-being, such as serotonin. This combination results in benefits ranging from strengthening blood vessels to improving mood and mental disposition. Combining coffee with these two ingredients does more than just add flavor, it enhances the drink with properties that act directly on the fragile points of aging. Cinnamon helps control metabolism, while cocoa protects the mind and circulatory system. It's as if each cup becomes an extra boost for two essential areas, the brain and the heart. The impact goes beyond the physical. Those who adopt this habit often report more pleasure and comfort in their routine. The aroma of cinnamon awakens fond memories, and the taste of pure cocoa evokes a subtle, guilt-free comfort. It's a small change that can transform coffee into a daily self-care ritual. And the results are surprising. In recent studies, people who regularly consumed cocoa-enriched coffee showed improved cerebral blood flow and better memory performance. This means that the simple choice of adding a natural ingredient can be a powerful defense against cognitive decline. After all, the brain is one of the organs that needs the most care after the age of 60. And that's exactly where the next part of our journey comes in, how the right cup of coffee can not only protect but also stimulate memory, concentration, and even reduce the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Few things worry those over 60 as much as the possibility of losing their memory, mental clarity, and independence. The brain is the center of our identity, and protecting it becomes an absolute priority at this stage of life. What many people don't realize is that coffee, when chosen wisely, can be a great ally in preserving brain health. Scientific studies show that the antioxidants present in coffee help neutralize free radicals that attack neurons. These small, unstable molecules accelerate cell aging and are associated with cognitive decline, but compounds such as chlorogenic acid act as a kind of natural shield, reducing damage. In addition, the right coffee improves cerebral blood flow. When the vessels are well nourished and circulation is efficient, the brain receives more oxygen and nutrients, which are essential for maintaining active memory and sharp concentration. This effect can significantly reduce the risk of strokes, which are one of the main threats to cognition in the elderly. Another fascinating point is the impact of coffee on the production of neurotransmitters. Moderate consumption stimulates the release of dopamine and serotonin, substances that not only improve mood but also directly influence motivation and mental clarity. That is why, often, a well-chosen cup of coffee not only brings physical energy but also a more alert state of mind. And we are not talking about distant theory. Long-term research shows that consumers of quality coffee, in balanced amounts, have a lower risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Science is still studying all the mechanisms, but the relationship between coffee polyphenol and neuronal protection is already too consistent to be ignored. Imagine being able to enjoy a coffee enriched with cocoa or cinnamon while giving your brain a daily boost against age-related decline. Small habits build great protection over the years, and this is one of the clearest examples. And here's a special request: share this video with someone you love who loves coffee. Perhaps that person doesn't yet know that a simple change in choice can protect the mind and preserve precious memories for many years. But coffee is not limited to the mind. Its effects extend to the entire body, influencing inflammatory processes, vitality, and even the way we age. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about next: how the right cup of coffee can be directly linked to longevity. We all seek to live longer, but what really matters is living with quality, an active body, a clear mind, and the energy to enjoy every moment. Longevity is not just about the number of years, but the vitality we carry within them. And here's a little-known truth: the right coffee can be part of that path to a long and healthy life. Large-scale studies show that moderate consumers of quality coffee have a lower risk of mortality from cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and even some types of cancer. This is because the antioxidants present in the drink combat silent processes that accelerate aging, such as chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. Another essential benefit is the preservation of mobility. By supporting circulation and reducing inflammation, coffee helps keep muscles and joints in better condition. For those over 60, this means more freedom of movement, less pain, and greater willingness to engage in daily activities. And there is another important detail: mental energy. The feeling of clarity and focus that the right coffee provides helps to keep not only the body active, but also the mind engaged in activities that prolong vitality, such as reading, learning, and socializing. It is double protection, physical and cognitive. But there is one crucial point that needs to be remembered: the amount and time of consumption. Even the best coffees can lose their benefits if consumed in excess or too late in the day. Ideally, especially after age 60, consumption should be moderate, 1 to 3 cups a day, and preferably in the morning and early afternoon. This way, you can enjoy the benefits without disrupting your sleep, which is one of the pillars of longevity. We can look at coffee not as an energy crutch, but as part of a self-care ritual. When well chosen and balanced, it becomes an ally that accompanies the body in its mission to age with strength, clarity, and pleasure. And now we have reached the final point of our journey: transforming coffee into a true ritual of long life. Not just avoiding the villains or choosing the right allies, but understanding how each sip can be a daily symbol of self-care. Coffee has always been present in our lives as a simple gesture: waking up and preparing the first cup of the day, gathering the family around the table, sharing conversations with friends. But after everything we've seen here, it's clear that this gesture can go far beyond pleasure. It can become a daily ritual of longevity. The difference is in the choices. Avoiding the 3 villains: ultra-roasted coffee that irritates the stomach and accelerates cell wear, instant coffee that carries harmful industrial compounds, and coffee sweetened with artificial creams that acts as a metabolic bomb, is already a big step toward protecting your body. And, in their place, adopting the 3 allies: lightly roasted organic coffee, which preserves antioxidants and reduces digestive discomfort, natural decaffeinated coffee, which maintains benefits without overloading the heart and sleep, and coffee enhanced with cinnamon or pure cocoa, which protects circulation, blood sugar, and memory, is like putting a silent shield against aging in your favor. Each sip ceases to be an automatic habit and becomes a conscious act of care. It is you deciding, every day, to strengthen your heart, protect your mind, and preserve your energy. It is not about giving up pleasure, but transforming it into a tool for vitality. Imagine looking at your cup of coffee not just as fuel to start the day, but as an ally that supports your natural defenses, strengthens your immunity, and keeps the flame of your independence alive. That's the beauty of smart choices, small gestures that add up to big results over time. And if this content has brought clarity and motivation for you to rethink your coffee, I invite you to take the next step, subscribe to the channel. Here, in each video, you will find simple, science-based strategies for living longer and better after 60. Information that can transform your routine into health, and your health into longevity. Because aging does not mean losing vitality, it means choosing, day after day, the paths that keep your body and mind alive, strong, and full of energy. And your next cup of coffee may be one of those paths.